Hi, I've been declined for a credit card. How can I build credit when traditional credit cards are not an option? Really good question here. So, you have a couple options. There's a lot of different secured options, whether you get a secured line of credit. There's a lot of apps now that are out there that give you options where you can borrow against your own money. And that's the best way to build credit if a traditional non secured credit card option is not something you can get approved for. And that's the case. I mean, they're going to base their decisions for these credit cards off of your credit. So if you already have bad credit or your credit score is low, then you applying for a bunch of credit cards and getting turned down can make your situation worse. Number one, it makes you more risky because most creditors don't want to extend you a credit card or even a loan if you've been shopping everywhere and having a bunch of creditors pull your credit. So it puts you at risk there. But number two, you get a lot of credit inquiries on your credit report, and then that affects your credit score, and so it's just not worth it. I would say that the ideal score is to be at least about a 650, 660 before you start applying for credit cards. I always say that you'll know when your credit score is typically good enough because you'll start getting credit card offers in the mail like crazy. And so when you get that, that's typically means you've hit a credit score threshold that all these credit card companies like, and so they want to pre-approve you. And so when you start getting credit card offers in the mail, that's typically when you know that you most likely have a score that will allow you to open up a non-secured credit card. Now, if that's not an option, it's always good no matter what. If you're undecided or you don't know if you would be approved, you know your credit score is a little low, then I would just go with a secured credit card option. There's plenty of them. I've talked about them. I can send you the links below and give you some recommended ones that will approve you. Now, remember, secured credit cards, just because you're putting up your money for the deposit, doesn't mean you're guaranteed an approval. So I have a couple that I recommend that typically will almost guarantee anybody as long as you have an income coming in and that you don't have a bankruptcy within the last 2 years. With secured credit cards, why they're such good credit score building programs is because, or methods I should say, is because they allow you to build credit fast and they're easy to get approved for. And they don't affect your credit score in most cases. Some do pull your credit, but most don't. And it just allows you to start to get kind of your scores increased to a threshold that's going to give you more credit card non-secured options. So sometimes we got to start with secured, and I get a lot of comments where they're like, that's just so stupid. Why would I borrow against my own money? Because you're building credit. And what is credit? Credit is your ability to pay your bills and your payments on time. And creditors want to see that you have a proven track record before they just extend credit. And so if you've gone through hard times or your credit's been affected, then they want to see how you've rebounded, how you've started paying your payments on time, and so that they can say, oh, wow, this person's made 9 good payments. Then we can trust them. They also want to look at credit card balances and make sure that your balances aren't high. If your balances are high and you've had recent late payments, then you're at a high risk because, number one, they think you're living off your credit cards, which is not good. And number two, you have recent derogatory or late payments, so it tells them that you're probably unstable. And so there's a lot of factors that go into credit card approvals. But if you want a safe and almost a quote unquote almost guaranteed option, then secure credit cards are the best way to go.